What does he have a different book than us? Because I gave him a different book to do something with. But yeah, he's fine.
You can put it on this under your desk. Just put this under your desk. You don't need it right now. Thank you for being responsible and bringing it. Okay. One more. Oh, sorry. No, it's okay. I'll get that. I'm just like being a little eager for this class. Will, Grant, George, Sylvia, Trisha. Will, Grant, George, Sylvia, Trisha, Sydney. You'll see how long that can stay in my brain. Okay, I have, and you can just have that out of your desk. Thanks for being responsible for it. We're starting to book today. Okay, so I want you to think in your brain a minute about the time you have had to be patient for something, okay, and wait for something, and how did you feel? So think in your brain a minute for patient. How did you feel? How did you do that? Share with your shoulder partner.
When I was waiting for a new baseball bat, we ordered it, and it was going to take about a month. So, when I just felt like really mad that it was going to take a month, because I shipped other things from that place, and it made me mad because it only took like a week.
Well, I am shipping. So I had this thing that could help me with code, and I thought it was going to actually.
Y'all can come back, whole group. I heard some really neat things. I heard some people were frustrated. Some people were kind of anxious. I heard some people were mad, having to wait. That's kind of hard. Well, I want you to think about that and those feelings when we're reading our book today. So today we're going to read this fictional book by Erica Nilsson called Easter Island Odyssey. Okay? And we're going to start out in this book learning about a family. And in this family, we have a dad and a stepmom and a sister named Dora, and kind of mostly talking and everything is a little boy, okay? And in this book, they're sailing across the Pacific Ocean. And we're going to learn how Leo and his sister Dora are kind of feeling about it, okay? So, in your brain, just think a minute. I said it's a fiction book. Do we think realistic fiction, or do we think fantasy? We're just kind of guessing. Realistic. Hey, defend to your partner why you think it's realistic.
I think it's realistic because the picture on the front kind of looks like it was from like a long time ago as a statue, and it kind of just looks like it was realistic fiction from the picture.
Okay, I heard a lot of great stuff. Yeah, there's nothing so far in the cover that tells us like there's anything magical or anything. Easter Island is a real place that has these statues like that. Boats are real. So kind of what we know so far are real, okay? And a little bit, we're going to look at our table of contents a little bit more, but it tells us the titles of the chapters that are in this book. And today we're just going to focus on the first 2 pages where we learn about Leo and Dora. And so they started on this voyage across the Pacific Ocean, and they started in South America in a country called Peru. Okay? And they have been sailing and sailing and sailing and a little bored of it. Okay? And they have school on the boat and everything, and nothing but water. So we're going to learn about what's going on in their voyage. So I want you to think about the word galley for a minute. Galley. First of all, hand on your head if you've ever heard that word. Okay, a few of you have. I haven't really heard that word either. So let's just talk about the word itself. So what might we expect to see if we're looking for the word galley? What are some sounds you hear in there? What's the first sound you hear? Everyone just say the sound to me.
Galley.
Okay, just the very first sound. Guess what letter makes that sound?
G.
G. Okay. Galley. What's the ending sound we hear?
Lee. Lee.
Okay. E. A couple of things could make that sound. Everyone just tell me what are some letters? Just the ending sound. Galley. E.
Me.
What letters sometimes make that sound? E can make it? Yeah, E did you say? Yeah. Okay, any other letter that can make it? Y can make that sound. galley is gonna be in like the kitchen part of the boat. So it's the galley of the boat is gonna be the kitchen part of the boat. So everyone turn to page 3 for me real quick. And we're gonna practice kind of our skimming skills. I want you to skim through page 3 and see if you can find the word galley. We're not reading, we're just skimming for a word. And if you find it, frame it with your fingers. You can, or you can move it. You're gonna need it in a little bit.
I keep them in the little thing right there.
Oh, I see some of y'all found it. Okay, so that's what the word galley is gonna look like, and that's gonna be kind of down in the kitchen of the. Now, don't look at it in the pen. There's another word I want you to think about. This, Grant, look at me. Oh, did you find galley yet? Okay, we're looking on page 3, buddy. Okay. We're starting with a G, and ending with the Y. Galley. It's like the kitchen. Okay, now think about the word. Don't look here. Navigation. First of all, big or little word. You could just say it. Big or little word.
Big. Big.
Yeah, that's a pretty big word. Very first sound, not even the chunk, just the very first sound. Navigation. Is the sound. Letter that makes that sound is N. Now, not the ending sound, but there's kind of a suffix, a chunk at the end of navigation. What is the suffix on that? Navigation. Y'all could all just whisper to me.
Ireland.
That is a really good guess, I think. So I want you to also look on page 3, see if you find a long word starting with an N, ending with an N, ending with that shun, T-I-O-N, and frame it if you can find navigation. Page 3 also. Yes. Groundedness. You know what navigation is?
I do.
Everyone? You're not sure?
I do.
Everyone's pretty, you feel pretty confident? Okay, navigation is kind of how they're telling you where the boat's going, plotting its course, so they don't get just lost out in the middle of the ocean. So that's what that word's gonna be about. So in just a minute, I'm gonna have you guys start reading, and you can read silently in your head, but when I tap in on you, I'm gonna want you to read aloud to me. I'm sure like Ms. Johannes does. But while you're reading, you each have a sticky note, and I'll give you all pencils. I want you, while you're reading, to, on your sticky note, write down how one character is feeling, but I want you to make sure you provide me some text evidence. So if you pick Leo, and you wanna tell me how Leo is feeling, I want you to be able to show me some text evidence of proving why you think he's feeling that way. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, begin reading.
What page do you want to start on?
Start on the very beginning of the book.
Very beginning of the book.
Do you want me to start?
Wherever you were, you can start.
People call it the bird planet because when you see it from space, the oceans give the Earth a blue glow. I'm sick of blue. I want to see some green and brown. Dora complained. I went to see some grass. I went to see some big stone heads. Dora was only 7 years old. Because when you see on space, the ocean, in the earth, the blue world, I'm sick of blue. I want to see some green and brown. What are we writing in this page?
One character and emotion they're feeling, and they need text evidence to defend what emotion they're feeling.
I started swimming at a young age because it was good for my asthma. But a young age because it was started us from a young age because it was good for my elsewhere, but even I was 16, nothing but water. Allie, my dad, my sister, and I were sailing across the Pacific for 3 weeks. Ever since we left Peru and lost sight of the coast of South America, there had been nothing to see but a blue ocean and a blue sky. There was no, there had been nothing to see but a blue ocean and a blue sky.
I want you to think about every word you just said. Every word you just said in that sentence.
There was no land, there was no other birds, not even any birds to do.
Okay, the sentence you just read, so where you said, here, start here, there had
been nothing to see but blue ocean and blue sky.
Okay, do you remember what you did the first time you read that?
Skies and oceans.
And plugged in A, but a blue ocean and a blue sky. And that might make sense, right? But we gotta make sure when we're reading just the words that are on the page, because sometimes that can really trick you. Great. At some point, I want you to write down an emotion a character is feeling, and then text evidence for it, okay? So we're going to stop at page 3. If you finish page 3, you can either write your evidence down or reread those pages. You can pick one of them. Because I had told Catherine. Okay. Sorry. No, I got it. Hey guys. Oh, sorry. Had you finished page 3?
Almost. I'm like, great. I'm tired.
Okay. You're going to share with your shoulder partner real quick. What character did you pick? What emotion did you say to him? How can you prove it in the text? So, yeah.
Do you think we can finish in 5 minutes? Maybe 20? Keep going. Okay. Keep going.
Am I messing you up if I keep going?
No, that'd just be 5 minutes off, but that's okay.
Okay, share with your shoulder partner. What character you picked, what emotion you're feeling, and what your text evidence is.
Dora, she's not patient. She doesn't really have a name yet. They haven't mentioned her name in the story, so, but I picked her because it said Dora was bugging her, and I felt like, and it said it because Dora has no patience, and it just bugged her.
Okay, guys, come back. So, I want us to, we're gonna kind of go backwards a little bit right now. I want you to now go to the table of contents. Think about, you're kind of getting to know a little bit of the characters. You were talking about how they're feeling right now. Look at the table of contents. Let's read over what the names of these chapters are gonna be. And I'm gonna want you, while we're reading them, to be thinking of a prediction of some things you think might happen later in the story. So we're reading the chapter, A White Dot on the Blue Ocean. What is the white dot, first of all? When I first read it, I totally was thinking the island. And I was like, but he said it's a black smudge. I kind of had to reread that to figure out it was the ship. Good job. Okay, so we're reading right now A White Dot on the Blue Ocean. Then we're going to read The Voyage so far. Then we're going to read Easter Island Friendships. Then Squally Weather, Trouble on the Island, Searching the Quarry, and Waiting. Wait a minute. Who has a prediction of what they think might happen in this story?
The part that says trouble on the island, I think that when they get to the island, they think like it's a lot harder than probably.
Okay, so maybe they were kind of tired of being on the boat and frustrated with it, but maybe there's worse things yet to come. That's a great prediction. They'll probably like that since they've been alone for a while.
On the chapter I'm reading, I think it's like something that they might have gotten into and then it ended up for them getting, it ended up for them getting like really impatient and stuff.
Like they thought they were bored and having to wait on the boat. They have to wait again.
I think trouble on the island means like they get lost in the forest when they can't find any food or water.
No. Okay. I want to praise you guys. You did some phenomenal reading behaviors. I saw so many amazing things. There was something in particular. Will? Okay. Several points in this, they have dialogue going on. And dialogue, you kind of have to read a special way, and in fact, in a minute, we're going to practice reading it. And if you kind of just read what they're saying, and then the other words, and then what the next person's saying all together, it kind of gets really confusing. And you did a great job of pausing. So he was reading this, which one was it? That's why some people call it the blue planet. Because when you see it from space, the oceans give the earth a blue glow. And then he kind of paused, and then he went into the next part. He made sure each part there was dialogue. He paused when it would say, like, he said or she said, give the next part of the sentence so it was clear what part the person was saying in dialogue and what was just the kind of commentary the author was giving. So I was really, really impressed with that. That was great. Then something I want us to do when we're reading, some of these sentences are long. It's a novel, and it gets very long. And sometimes we can find ourselves kind of lost in a long sentence. Sometimes, has that ever happened to y'all? And have y'all ever, I totally done this, where you just start saying the words and the sentence is going on and on and on. I want us to make sure that now that y'all are reading longer books, you're really processing the whole sentence, even when it's long. And if you find yourself getting distracted in that sentence or losing track, going back and rereading that sentence and thinking kind of about each word along the way, so we can take those big, long, convoluted sentences and put them together in a way that makes sense. So if I were saying, for 3 weeks, ever since we left Peru and lost sight of the coast of South America, guys, I'm not done with that sentence yet, but there's already a lot of information there. So I'm pausing, I'm thinking 3 weeks, so they've been at ocean 3 weeks, they left Peru, they can't see South America anymore. I'm making sure I've understood those parts of the sentence. Then there had been nothing to see but blue ocean and blue sky. So now the next part of the sentence is just telling me it's a bunch of nothingness. So I need to make sure, even though that's one huge long sentence, there were kind of 3 important pieces of information. I need to follow the whole sentence all the way through to get all of the information there. Turn to page 3 one more time, and I talked to y'all about that dialogue piece. And I want us to look here where it says, what is it, Dad? I asked. Look, he said. And do you guys notice that it kind of starts a new paragraph each time? When they start that new paragraph, do y'all remember why they do that? What is it a hint to us as the reader? When in dialogue, they start new paragraphs sometimes after that's just a few lines. What is it, Dad? I asked. They started a new paragraph.
It's quoting the they said.
It is quoting and it's switching paragraphs because it's telling us a new person is talking. So we need to, when we read it, make sure we've given us a pause to kind of show a new person is talking. So let's read that little section together. We're gonna read the "What is it, Dad?" I asked. "Look," he said excitedly, pointing at the distant horizon. "Do you see that black smudge?" We're gonna all read that part together, just like I did, pausing and showing inflection. Okay, everyone, ready? "What is it, Dad?" Everyone, read with me. "What is it, Dad?" I asked. "Look," he said excitedly, pointing at the distant horizon. "Do you see that black smudge?" Let's do it one more time, okay? "What is it, Dad?" I asked. "Look," he said excitedly, pointing at the distant horizon. "Do you see that black smudge?" Excellent job, excellent job. Y'all can actually, I want y'all to keep these, and if today or tomorrow in just your independent reading time, you finish chapter 1, and then we'll bring it back and we'll talk about chapter 2 in a minute. Okay? So finish chapter 1 on your own. Thank y'all.
Like, what's time at 20?
So I actually hit 58. 35, 45.
Grant, go see the summons now. But put that book at your desk, please.
I think I'm gonna start light at 35. Right now I'm at
It was pretty, it was like, that clock was within the minute.
Okay, so.
What about this part?
Keep it too.